Hey everyone, it's Tom here from Ludicrous Feed. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Ludicrous Feed Live. Thank you so much. If you're watching live, make sure you leave a comment in the chat box. I'd love to hear from you. Tell us where you're watching from. If you're watching us on replay, hello as well. Make sure you stick to the end. Lots of goodies for you tonight. And if you're listening to us on audio podcast, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate your time. All right, well, let's welcome our regular guest as always, the one and only Riz Akhtar from Carloop, and of course, Mr. Rahul Prasad. Gentlemen, so nice to see you both. Let's start with Riz. Hello, Riz. How are you?
Hey Tom, hey Rahul, hey everyone. Yeah, going well. It's lots happening in the space now. I think we've got quite a few exciting things to talk about tonight. So yeah, look forward to everyone tuning in.
Absolutely, Riz. Yeah, there's never a dull moment in the EV world, right? Rahul, how are you this evening?
Evening, Tom. Evening, Riz, and evening, everyone who's tuning in or is going to listen to us or watch us later via YouTube or the podcast. Please make sure to like the live stream so we can just get more EV aficionados onto this live stream. And in saying that, a couple of my friends who have not mentioned to them that I have been doing this have actually said to me, like, hey, are you like on this YouTube live stream doing EV cars? So word's getting out. Thank you, everybody, for helping us out with this. Much appreciated.
Yeah. Hello, Rahul's friends. If you're watching, thanks so much for joining us tonight. If you are, tell your friends, tell everyone. The more the merrier. Let's say hello to a few of our audience members as well. This is Anthony. Hey, Anthony, nice of you to join us. He says, hi, team. Any chance you could discuss how you can order parts for your Tesla this evening? Yeah. Do you mean directly, like for yourself? If anyone knows, yeah, drop in a comment. Ray Johnson. Hello, Ray. Nice to see you as always. Gaffer's getting some snacks. Good, good. Excellent. Yeah, some cold weather in on the East Coast at the moment, particularly in the southeastern coast in Victoria, New South Wales. And Jeremy says her second live broadcast for me. I'm in London and it's 12 noon, which is a better time. Hey, nice of you to join us, Jeremy. Thanks so much. Look, Riz Akhtar. Oh, he's here in person. Hey, Riz. Nice to see you. Kenny says, evening from a frosty Melbourne, everyone. And Gaffer says, a comment. Haha, he left a comment. Good one. Look, Kenny says, favorite night of the week. That's great. Thank you. Oh, hey, Charles. Nice of Charles to drop in there. Hello. And Peter says he's watching from Chile Queen Bien. Hello. Jamie says, evening all. And yes, I am the ice cream man. Make sure you check that video out. Testing the Tesla Model Y fridge freezer. Yes, it does work, actually. Yes, and yeah, hello to everyone else as well. So thanks so much. I actually wanted to quickly also mention this as well, just really quick before we start tonight's stream. So this is a competition that's being run by ChargeFox. We had ChargeFox, Rob on from ChargeFox recently talking about ChargeFox, of course, and they're running a competition until the end of June 2023. Win a ChargeFox t-shirt and some other goodies. Follow us on socials and tag us in a post of you charging at a ChargeFox charger before the end of June 2023. The best 3 posts will win a ChargeFox t-shirt and a few other goodies. And I actually have one of the ChargeFox t-shirts as well, so I'm going to double down on ChargeFox. And if anyone also tags Ludicrous Feed in their socials until the end of June, you'll be in the running to win this particular t-shirt as well. So yeah, when you tag ChargeFox, tag Ludicrous Feed on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and I think the next time I do a live feed, or maybe a couple of live feeds later, we will do a competition to see who has the best picture or content once you tag us. So keep that in mind. Get tagging, all right? Cool. All right, so gents, what shall we talk about? There's so much to discuss. Riz, what's at the top of your mind this week?
The BYD seal.
BYD seal, yes.
It has been unveiled or revealed fully in New Zealand. They will have 3 variants going there, and it was interesting where they're unveiling it. It's sort of like an agriculture expo, but it also involves agricultural innovation. So they'll sort of reveal the seal there, and it seems that people are pretty happy to see it in person. And apparently you could place an order for one, and you're pretty much guaranteed one if you're at the expo and you place a deposit for one, that you'll have one on this side of Christmas.
Wow. Okay, that's a big guarantee. Impressive. Um,
That, mm,
price yeah. Okay, so that's the website there. So there's three options now in New Zealand, right? Addo 3, dolphin, and seal.
yep, for registration of interest. And yeah, there was the people that have already placed an order on one um, while they were at this agricultural show. So yeah, no, good to see, and hopefully, if the pieces align well for us in the coming months, we may possibly have a reveal here as well.
Are there any indications of how much it will cost over there?
They're still finalizing the pricing and specs. The car they did unveil yesterday, I think it was the top of the range performance. And I didn't know this, but apparently the way BYD badges cars, that particular all-wheel drive model had a 3.8 S variant, which is 0 to 100 in 3.8 seconds. So cool way of badging cars, but yeah, apparently that's the performance variant, and yeah, pricing and the other variant details will be revealed in the coming weeks. But there was a spec sheet apparently at that event, and that showcased 3 variants and 4 colors.
So the four colors are going to be blue, black, gray, and white.
Yeah.
I mean, 3.8 is no slouch, right? The Model Y performance is 3.9, I think, with the 1 foot rollout on. So that's pretty quick. And the seal was also spotted this week as well in Australia. So let me put this up.
Yes.
This was actually spotted in Melbourne. Let me share this tweet here. There we go. So this was spotted by a viewer, Chris Johnston, who tagged me or sent me a message. And this is what was spotted. I think, Riz, you might know this area.
Yeah, so it's closer to where Rahul is, I think, up on the north side in Alphington. And they've got a charger there as well, from one of the newer brands. And yeah, apparently it was captured there. And from what I hear, that the the test vehicle drivers were not overly excited with people taking photos, but it's a public road, and anyway, it's good to see it's being tested here. But for whatever reason, all these cars are being tested here, but they end up launching in New Zealand before they launch here. So I'm not sure. Maybe all the New Zealand buyers watch out for your Twitter channel, Tom, to have a look at when it's being tested, so they can get the money ready for deposit in New Zealand, because we'll see it in a couple of months' time.
Yeah, that's it, right? If you're watching anyone from BYD in Australia, I'm very happy to test it. So let me know when you're ready. Maybe New Zealand's got better conditions for the seal to swim over there before us, whatever it is.
Potentially.
Yes. Charles says, I compare the new BYD car to a kiss from a rose. I need that sound effect. Very good, Charles. Excellent. And there's a picture of the seal next to the Hyundai Ioniq 6. So the Ioniq 6 for me, it's a sedan that's maybe a little bit higher than a sedan. So interesting to see that the seal, essentially is a sedan in the traditional sense. Very similar width as well. So very interesting times ahead for sure. Sticking on the BYD theme, I believe next Thursday, in fact, is a very exciting time, because this was actually posted by Luke Todd, who's the CEO of EV Direct, the Australian distributor for BYD here. And he says a big splash drops June 22. Australia's most affordable, high-quality electric vehicle of all time will be on sale. Hashtag Dolphin Dynamic. Yeah, gents, what do you think of this, Rahul? BYD Dolphin, will this sell well?
Yeah, I think, look, compared to, I guess, Victoria, some of the other parts of the country with their EV rebates, and particularly in Queensland as well, I think they're going to sell, really, really well. It just remains to be seen what happens in Victoria post, I think, the 30th of June with the rebates coming off. Riz, your thoughts on that? Do you think BYD's going to suffer from customers wanting to take up their product?
I think the Dolphin will do well in most parts of Australia, including possibly Victoria as well will just end up paying more compared to a lot of other states, which is still okay because it's still a lot of car if it comes around the early $40,000 mark, because there's not much else that's in the market for that much. But yeah, it will definitely have an impact. People will think twice before splashing any sort of money, particularly on the affordable end where it really matters. So yeah, let's see what happens.
Nice, Riz, splashing on this car. Very good. I like it. Yeah, I mean, speaking of price, I mean, what are we talking here? Lucas said here, Australia's most affordable. I mean, what's currently the most affordable EV in Australia? It's the MG-ZS EV, isn't it? Excite variant at 43
Yes.
MSRP. So, I mean, most affordable could be 42, but we're hoping under 40. Is that possible?
I think so, particularly because, well, it really just depends, right? Because the base model Dolphin of what's being showcased in New Zealand has a 70 kilowatt motor, which, not that everyone's taking the Dolphin to the drags, but 0 to 100 in 12 seconds is pretty average compared to like the MG4, which has a 150 kilowatt motor even at its sort of base trim, which starts at around 45,000 plus on roads. That's for the 64 kilowatt hour battery pack. So if that's something to compare it against, then yeah, early 40s, 41, 42 plus on roads would still be relatively attractive. So 45,000 on the road before any subsidies or rebates. And if you're in Queensland, that could be 37, 38,000. And, New South Wales and everyone else has sort of their own incentives. So it could sell quite well, but yeah, pricing just has to be right.
No, I agree.
Got a quick question there, gentlemen.
Please.
While we're just talking about BYD as well, I've just quickly gone onto their website. Yeah, Dolphin on that front page saying make a splash, but kind of like no other information. I'm guessing they're waiting for that launch on the 22nd. And then same thing with the seal as well. Riz, you would think that they would possibly have like a place card holder or something like that, which would, indicate, hey, seal's coming soon. But nothing there either. Kind of feel like, they could definitely improve that part of the experience of the customers if they want to drum up interest, I guess. Yeah, Tom, even that register interest, only has just the detailed sort of page there, but nothing else really. It's kind of like a little bit underwhelming for me. Like if I was a new EV buyer, I'd want this to be a little bit more better, set the sort of, the expectation or the interest a little bit more higher. Your thoughts?
I was just going to say, Rahul, yeah, no, good point, by the way. It does look like it's just sort of register interest page. But yes, the launch will be next Thursday. So stay tuned for next Thursday. There might be a special event that we might share with you as well a bit later on. We might be attending that launch, so stay tuned. But look at this up here as well. Victorian ZEV rebate customers, simply place your order for an Atto 3 by midnight 28 June, and our team will be in contact with you. If the launch for the Dolphin is 22nd, and you could potentially place an order on the 22nd, could you potentially sneak in for that rebate? I guess that remains to be seen.
Yeah, the main sort of caveat around that is if they can get approval, and then in the way things work in Victoria, apparently the vehicle has to be on Victorian government's approved list of some sort.
Oh.
So on top of the fact that even if they could start taking orders, which if it was on the Victorian government's list, they could start taking orders. Anyone that places an order till the 28th or 30th or whatever it is, they still have 6 months to collect the car for the rebate, for them to sort of be eligible and receive the rebate or subsidy back from the government. That was sort of hidden in the details as such, but I don't think the Dolphin will make the cut just because of the government approval process. And I mean, if they're canceling the rebates, I don't think there's a lot of excited people in the government ready to put another vehicle on the list, because they're just trying to deplete as many as they've got at the moment.
Yeah, okay. That's a bit sad. I'll have to curb my enthusiasm then. I thought maybe that might be the case, so we'll see. Let's take some comments from the crowd here. So, let's see. So Anthony's saying it will be the Hyundai Excel of electric cars. Not a bad thing. They sold it very well in the late 90s, I think it was. Gaffer says, I think these will sell well if news about them get out. The trouble is outside the EV community, people don't know about them. I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of people I know who don't own an EV look out for these kind of affordable vehicles. So I think if it's the right price, it will be compelling enough. Anthony says this car will definitely tip the iceberg. Yep. And Gaffer says they need to be targeting people moving from ICE to EV, so need to spread the news about them. Yes. Charles is saying we're waiting for the Aura to go on sale. That's also true. Yep. And Greg says it has to start with the 39. Yes. That would be a game changer, right? If it was a 39.
Well, we sort of saw what happened with the car that was launched last year, an electric hatchback. Started with a 59 in front of its price tag, the Cupra Born. And yeah, I haven't seen many post-birth running around. So we're just, not too sure what's going on because they haven't delivered too many. But they were making, quite a big noise about how they had the first allocation of 400 sold out and factory was going to make 600 of them. So we haven't seen those. And in last month's VFACTS, the sales data, I think there were 2 Aura Cats that had been sold. So I'm assuming registered somewhere, whether they were for the dealers, whether they were for Great Wall themselves. Not sure, but hopefully we'll see more from the June figures early next month.
Yeah, I have to say, I don't think BYD are at that stage at the moment where they would price this at something starting with a 39. Most likely would be a little bit higher. It would be an absolute game changer, but I don't think the Australian EV industry as a total, in terms of manufacturers, the models that they can get into this country and the uptake by customers, that interest is not quite there as yet to have something, at that price point.
Yep. I mean, they could still make it 40, 41. It would still be the cheapest at the moment. But having a 3 there would be like, hopefully. Let's try and be optimistic. But you're right, guys. I think, whether they do make a 39, I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out next Thursday. A question for me, Chris. How do you find your Fronius charger? Are you charging exclusively with excess solar? I try to, Chris. I use Charge HQ whenever I can, whenever I'm home in the day. Otherwise, I'm with Power Shop, so I get a cheaper rate overnight. Ray says 0 to 100 in 12 seconds for the Dolphin is the same pace as my Mitsubishi Outlander with 4-cylinder. And look, I don't know if people are going to buy this car for the pace. It's going to be a great urban vehicle, maybe for a day trip. But you're right. 12 seconds is not super quick. Greg's got a good question. Is the BYD Dolphin the VW Polo size? Well, Riz, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in New Zealand and in the Chinese market, it might be that size. But I think our has to comply with the safety here. It has to be longer.
I think it is going to be the slightly extended version compared to what they sell in China. So it's, from memory, 4.3 meters long, or roundabout there. So it's same size as a Corolla hatch, maybe a little bit smaller than a Corolla hatch. And I think longer than a MG4, only by a couple of millimeters.
Okay, so maybe more like a VW Golf instead of a Polo, perhaps. Yep. Tassie EV1, yes, kind of touched on this. Yes, some of us will be there potentially for the event, so stay tuned. It'll be good. And yes, I'm looking forward to tweeting about the price too once we get news of it, of course, next Thursday. Will the BYD Seagull make it here? Yeah, we had Elliot on, didn't we, recently for the Chinese cars, and interesting. I don't know. That'll be good question to ask Luke Todd maybe next time I see him. Will the BYD Seagull come to Australia? And Kenny says, saw on the news that BYD landed an extra 750 Atto 3s in Victoria to help people take advantage of the rebate before it expires. Yes, well, let's segue onto that, actually. But before we do, I just wanted to quickly shout out to the guys from Whyalla again. They sent me this mug. So if you're ever driving in regional South Australia, make sure you go check out the team from Whyalla. Thank you very much, guys. And thank you for the card as well. Appreciate that. Riz and Rahul, your names are on this card too. So this is shouting out to you guys for all the work that we're doing. So thank you. All right, so let's talk about that actually. The fact that BYD have an extra 750 ATO3s in Victoria ready to take advantage of the rebate. Riz, what do you know about that?
I saw them.
You saw them?
There were rows and rows. I'm serious. There were rows of them in Moorabbin in Victoria. Used to be, for anyone that's from Melbourne, Warrigal Road had a lot of exactly that. They were hundreds of them there in all colors: the blue, the reds, the whites, the grays, and the greens.
Ooh.
Yeah, that army green sort of a color, like maybe olive green is more like it. And yeah, they were just brand new. A lot of them still had the the A4 sheet of paper that says left China to Melbourne. There were 700. They claimed there were 750. I didn't count all of them. It was raining. It's typical Melbourne day in June. But yeah, no, they were. It was a sight to be seen.
Yeah, I had a quick look at this article from Car Expert. So they're saying that they're avoiding all the quarantine issues because the cars are basically getting driven straight into shipping containers shipped to Australia. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, the one of the team members from BYD did mention that they're putting them into containers and sending them out. I don't know how long this will continue. Eventually, we have to sort our ports out so that we can get free flow of vehicles in and out, and particularly EVs. So the other thing on the back of this is there's another 2,000 that BYD in China have basically said sort of secured for Victoria. Not putting any other state at a disadvantage as such. These are allocated specifically for Victoria if they can sell, let's say 1,500 of them between now and end of this month in Victoria for those that want to take advantage of the rebate, even if they are delivered outside of what we see here, where they had 750 of them.
Okay. Well, I guess if anyone's watching from Victoria, there you go. This car's ready for delivery and to take advantage of that rebate, which is disappearing. So now it's a very good time, isn't it? Seems like a bit of a BYD episode this Thursday, isn't it? But it's good to see lots of news coming out.
Riz, I think what we're interested in knowing, including the audience as well, is what color were the sneakers? How many Ks did you do? And, did you have one blue on one leg or one foot and then one red on the other foot just to match with the BYD colors?
Blue ASIC ones. So Luke, Todd, or anyone from BYD, if you're watching, I need some BYD sneakers.
Did you have a heart rate monitor, Riz? Like, we need some stats here.
Apparently the Atto 3 has all the tech. I didn't need anything.
That's right. Yes, Ray has just, I'll just make a good point here. Ray is saying he wants me to shout out to you guys about Rob from City EV doing a better route planner research. So let me just put this up here real quick. He's doing research on, yes, to help dispel myths surrounding EVs in the media. So check that tweet out and have a look at that survey he's doing too. So yes, thank you very much, Ray, for that. Okay, well, do we have anything else to chat about, gents? I'll try and find something here.
Cybertruck. Apparently it's been spotted, but this time it's not that very shiny steel exoskeleton or whatever they sort of say. It's got camo. What are they hiding?
Is it being tested like the seal here in Australia?
Apparently it was going through a drive-through.
I think it was going through In-N-Out Burger joint. I think maybe the drivers or the engineers just wanted to hide the fact that it was a Cybertruck. I think they succeeded.
I couldn't tell, honestly, if you hadn't said. Yeah, wow. Okay. There you go. That's a pretty cool wrap, though. Or is that one of the stock paints you get? Or stock wraps? Wow. Yeah, okay. So spotted in Palo Alto. Okay, so in California. Yeah. Amazing. There was some news too about delays again with Cybertruck. Anyone hear about that?
I think there's something about suppliers that are supposed to supply components for the Cybertruck. One of them's leaked out that apparently Tesla plans on producing 375,000 a year when they do ramp up production. And as part of that, they sort of said, October production, which not entirely sure. I know Elon's previously said end of Q3, but yeah, it should be interesting to see when the first ones, even if they sort of start rolling out to, let's just say, their employees, which what they have done previously with the 4680 Model Ys when they were being built at Austin, Texas. So even if it's that, then at least people can stop saying that it's not real.
Yep, exactly. Let's segue onto this one. So Gaffer says 10 FSD cars in Australia now, and that was tweeted by TechAU today. So that number has grown from 2 last week we talked about to now 10. And surely some of them are customer cars, I think, not just employees. And apparently one of them had a here we go. So he was saying one of them has a Model Y. Yep.
I think there was a Model S 2018 with FSD on it. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, the AP1 car. There you go.
Yeah,
a very old vehicle. I didn't even think they could support FSD. Maya certainly can't. How bizarre.
Tom and Riz, does this the fact that there's more cars appearing in Australia with FSD, do you guys think that we may be looking at getting some version of FSD beta in Australia for FSD customers sort of towards the end of the year, kind of like a Christmas bonus?
I know Elon Musk in 2022 tweeted something like Christmas or something, or end of 2022, end of the year for right-hand drive or rest of the world. Yeah. Might need to get Nash back on.
Yeah. Only the main man knows. Apparently, he was so happy to hear that 10 of them had it that he ordered another Model Y Performance.
Oh, he did too. Yes, that's right.
So it's just, and it could possibly be that his investments in Tesla stock and the mission, I think they've 14 or 15 days in a row of growth in stock. So maybe that's what Nash was celebrating there. And maybe he has one of the vehicles that has that FSD loaded in Australia.
You never know.
I think that's a good point. I think point to note, if you had bought Tesla stock when Elon bought Twitter, and that price sort of crashed, I think you would have doubled your investment as of today, if not more. I think it's up like 70%.
There you go. And question for you, Riz. Where is it? Zubinix. I want to know what made Riz flip. Riz, what makes you flip?
So I think that's on the back of my Twitter handle. I don't even know if that's what it's called, but @RizFlip. My very first Android phone was a Motorola backflip. And when I got that, it prompted me to sign up to Twitter, and I didn't know what that was. So I was like, maybe it was linked to the phone, and that's why I created RizFlip. But anyway, I was at uni, young and foolish.
Still young, but I always thought because you like used to deal with used cars, no? Flipping cars?
Well, yeah, could possibly be due to that as well. Yeah. So if anyone's looking at buying a used car, I've got a couple, only been driven to church on Sundays in warm, balmy Melbourne all throughout the year. Got a couple.
Always under the speed limit, right?
Yeah. Only driven to church.
Yeah. Very, very good conditions, guys. So here we go. Chameleon asks me, how am I finding our Model Y? Love it. As you saw, we drove it to the Blue Mountains, tried the new charger up there, so check that video out. It's a great car. I don't know what people talk about with suspension. Like, it's actually much smoother than the Model 3, and that's already pretty good. So there you go. Jeff says Tesla finally installing 12 times 250 kilowatt chargers in Gundagai. Oh, okay. After checking Tesla data, are placing it in the town opposite the bottle shop. Oh, good. Yeah, so I guess away from the dog on the tugger box. 12 is good because, I mean, Gundagai is like a busy stop, right? People traveling from Sydney to Melbourne and back. So particularly in the
I'm
middle of the day.
actually about to do that trip in September, gents. We're going to
good.
go via the Hume. Actually going to stay at the Gundagai caravan park there. So I'm looking forward to sort of using these chargers on the way over to Sydney. So yeah,
Cool.
great work from Tesla. Just keeping up that, ramping up the superchargers network here in Australia. Great job.
Yeah, take some photos for us, Rahul, definitely.
Can do.
Some more comments from the audience. Do we know if these cars actually have FSD beta, or are they just running a firmware version in the FSD branch? We just don't know, right? If you have one of these builds, let us know or email me. I'd love to hear from you. Get some goss. Greg says mine's gone up 140%. I'm referring to Tesla shares. It's becoming financial advice here. Shailendra's admitting that he got Nash into Tesla stock. Ooh, careful. Might come after you if it goes down. John saying, pick up my Model Y performance on Saturday after waiting 2.5 years for my S that is now not coming. Oh, we feel for you. Inventory model with big discount plus a 3K from Tesla for cancelled S order, so nearly 13,000 discount. It's pretty good.
Can we quickly talk about that, because that's been sort of a news story that hasn't really made it news yet. I was looking at, because when I haven't got my runners on, I'm looking at Tesla inventory and stock levels, and there were Model 3 performances for, I think, $87,000 drive away, which is, I think last year they were above 100,000 when you placed an order for one that wasn't in inventory. So Tesla is heavily reducing sort of their stock levels. On Model 3s in particular, they don't have any Model Ys to really sell because they're just so popular. So if you're looking for potentially a Model 3 long range, then Model 3 performance is they've got a few around the country that might be very close to the price of a Model 3 long range currently in stock. And apparently I also got a call from Tesla saying, hey, do you want to trade yours in? Because we can get you into one. And apparently some of the stock that they have is under the luxury car tax threshold. And I was like, look, I haven't worn my Rolex today because usually I wear luxury watches and everything else as well. But yeah, it was pretty good to be, too good to be true in some cases. So keep an eye out on Tesla's inventory for Model 3 performances.
But Riz, you had your Patek watch on. That's why they knew.
Well, right? That's right.
But that's a good point, though. I think the luxury car tax threshold for green cars is going up as well. I think in once we cross the financial year threshold. So, yeah, you're right. That some of those cars will be under that threshold. Question here from Jeremy: hearing that Ford GM in the US will adopt Tesla's North American charging standard. We talked about that last week. People are saying that it's the end of CCS2. Do we think it's going to affect anything in Australia? I think the American market's very different to us, Jeremy. And I think Riz and Rahul will agree. I think CCS2 is probably the de facto standard still here in Australia. So I don't think we'll switch over anytime soon. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, agree. I think that standard's just been adopted, sort of on a sort of bigger basis now. That change to go back to NAS would be too expensive. Bring the cars back in, change the cars, or get adapters or whatever. Changing the ports and stuff and everything like that just going to be too hard. I think CCS2 is here to stay as the standard here in Australia.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed. I think that's becoming the standard in everywhere else but America. So I think it's the way to go. Yes, so Greg's saying quite a few Y performance inventory with some discounts. And yes, do check out Nash's video. Ray's posting about it here. He did actually order one, as we talked about earlier, so he took advantage of those discounts if you are interested too. Question from Chameleon: do you think the Model Y and 3 will come out with mini display on update cars? On the Highland edition?
So that's the other thing that happened this week. Rumors around some updates for the Model 3 Highland. Apparently, it's going to have ventilated seats, which, could be the case in some of the more premium cars. But then there was other things along the lines of in-car lighting. So, you get some of those cars with like LEDs where you can change color. BYD, I think, has them in the Atto 3 as well. Good to have for those that, want to change colors and sort of turn their car into a bit of a disco, but I don't know if the Model 3 really needs that. But mini displays like the Model S, I'm assuming Chameleon is talking about behind the steering wheel. I think it'd be good to have, but that sort of goes against, to a certain degree, Tesla's ethos on minimizing things and reducing things.
Yeah. If you want a car that changes interior lighting, the BYD Atto 3 does that actually. But there is aftermarket stuff that oh, is that a cat? But there is aftermarket stuff that gives you a screen behind the steering wheel, including stuff you can put your phone on as well. So I've done a video on that. Check that one out. Yeah, cool. Let's see. Let's put on some other news.
I was going to see whether people were interested in this, Tom. The news that came out about Tesla's what is it? The lab experience in Chengdu.
Okay, let me just have a look.
Yeah, it was that. It was a Tesla store that they've opened in China. That's more like a bit of a experience center, but they go through the manufacturing process.
Yeah, that looks amazing. I mean, imagine having something like that that you could walk into, to really understand this as well. And I think as part of this as well, they had, I think, engineering students at some university in China where they had like a 3D model, I think, of the Model Y, but just completely opened up so they could actually see how the whole thing just went together. For some of those who are interested in that engineering, and obviously Riz yourself as well, that would be something awesome to sort of gain an experience of, wouldn't it?
Oh, pretty awesome stuff, and you can see no one else does it that way.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to go to the exhibition at the Peterson Museum in LA last summer. And yeah, there was a very similar to this Model Y pulled apart, or whatever car that is. Yeah, it looks Model Y. So they had that as well on display. It was just amazing to see what goes into a vehicle like that. So if we had those centers around the world to show people how amazing these vehicles are, a lot of education goes a long way into convincing people EVs are the way to go and how efficient they are.
100%. And I think this is exactly what I think. I think just having something like this would be so amazing to just get people in there who say drive ICE, don't know much about EVs, want to make that swap, but are uncertain, to be able to go into this and then get that understanding of what driving an EV means, what it means to put this together, how much less their carbon emission footprint is going to be. I think that'd be an absolute game changer for people to sort of make, a educated decision.
Yeah, and you can buy a backpack too. I've seen these on the store, I think, the Tesla shop. It's a nice white backpack there. Question from Matt. Thanks, Matt, for the donation as well. How much of an indication do we think the Highland update will be of the Juniper Model Y refresh, ventilated seats, etc.?
That's the plan. If I still don't know if this Model 3 refresh thing is real or not. I mean, there's that much speculation behind it. But if this update is coming, then it's only a matter of time. With Tesla, is all about manufacturing efficiency, and you want to make sure that you're putting the same parts in as many vehicles as possible. So, it makes the whole process a whole lot easier. So whatever goes into Model 3 will more than likely end up in the next generation of Model Y. So yeah, it'd be pretty cool to see.
You just hit the nail on the head there, Riz. There's actually no confirmation from Tesla at all about this Highland update. It's just been hearsay from a lot of us online. So this could just fizzle out and go. They'll just go, "What are you talking about?" So we don't know.
Haven't there been some sightings of some Highland refresh models with the the back and the front sort of hidden away? So I wonder what they're trying to hide then. Is it Is it kind of like just a exterior sort of refresh, or yeah, interesting. But you're right, nothing officially from Tesla as per usual up until it's actually revealed.
See, stuff like this gets shared, right? Like spotted Model 3 Highland and with the red brake calipers too. So I don't know. It looks very similar to me to everything else I've seen so far.
Yeah.
Maybe better cameras, right? That might be real.
Hmm.
That's something. All right. So what else can we chat about, Jets?
I guess there's speaking about sort of new cars hitting the market in Australia, we have not seen another electric ute since the LDV launched theirs last year. And
Mhm.
there's still all this hype, but a lot of the stuff around EVs can't tow and no utes in the market and all of that sort of stuff. I think that's sort of a little bit behind us now because people are not making that as be all and end all when it comes to making the shift. People are just buying electric cars.
Mm. That's it. Yeah. Question from
I
Greg.
think-
Sorry, Rahul.
No, go ahead, Tom. Yeah.
Greg's got a question. Any reports from the long weekend about poor charging experiences? I saw a long queue at Gundagai for Tesla. Any other reports? Yes, we had a long weekend on the East Coast for, I guess, the King's birthday now. Jets, did you take any long trips this weekend?
No, I didn't, and I didn't hear too much on. I think the charging infrastructure is improving quite a bit, but Greg's right that particularly with where there's busier thoroughfares and stuff, there would still be queues.
Yeah, I just had inner city sort of trips, just a lot of EVs on the road. But in terms of charging, yeah, what I'm finding is a lot of private sort of businesses or car parks or shopping centers have the obligatory one or two sort of charging spots, with the two sort of destination charges, just to fulfill that criteria. But not really sort of looking at putting in more charges in these sorts of spots where weekends these places are going to be extremely busy and with more EV adoption along the way as well. It'd be great if private enterprises were taking up on putting in more charges as well. Not everybody needs to charge at 150k kilowatts or 50 kilowatts. Even if you could just plug in for a couple of hours at 25 kilowatts, 11 kilowatts, whatever, that's perfectly fine for a couple of hours at a shopping center with your kids or with your family doing a bit of shopping.
Yeah, we do need more city charges. You're right, Raoul. People do live in apartments and don't have any off-street parking these days. More high-density living. Charles makes a good point. Yep, the Southern Forest Exeter one is opening up, or has opened up, sorry. So that'll help Goulburn a lot. And that's actually closer to the highway as well, so more convenient. And Ray's just a shout out to anyone who has seen the new Wagga Wagga Tesla superchargers in New South Wales.
Ooh.
That'd be a good one.
Speaking of Tesla opening things, Charles may know more about this. There is a Tesla center opening up in Hobart, or being constructed soon, which would be exciting to see if it does happen.
Yeah, that'd be good. Next to the new stadium, maybe? Shall we not go there? No, better not go there.
Didn't hear Albanese make that announcement, but I think it might have been part of the stadium deal.
Might just name it Tesla Stadium.
Oh, Tesla Stadium. But Tesla don't advertise, or do they now?
in the suburb that I do live in, we do have a Nikola Tesla community center, and that's for the local Serbian community. So Nikola Tesla was a Serbian scientist or physicist, and yeah, they seem to honor Nikola Tesla still. So Tesla's become a lot bigger than what many knew the individual to be who created, I think, AC current or alternating current.
I think you're right. Yep. And some argue is the father of electricity rather than Edison, right? There's a bit of controversy there. Anthony asks, did anyone check out the Model S Plaid with the track pack doing a lap of Nürburgring? Yes, I think we did share that last week, right? Didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We did, because we also spoke about the other vehicle that apparently has already beaten it, but nobody wants to talk about it because they're waiting for 75 years
That's
of the
right.
anniversary to come out with something.
You're right.
And then another photo of that same Porsche was spotted, but apparently it had a few dings in the front bumper around Nürburgring. So maybe it was trying a bit too hard to beat Model S's sort of lap time.
Yeah, pushing that racing line, right? It's not NASCAR, everyone. It's just a track. Actually, this is a good point from Shalendra, because I also plus one to this. Appreciate if you can spread the word that Model 3Y rear-wheel drive owners can skip the LFP battery calibration stop at 99% at superchargers. Will save a good 10 to 20 minutes for those charging and those waiting. Yeah, great point. Actually, I was waiting for someone the other day, testing out a BYD. Well, I was testing out a BYD, waiting for a Model Y to calibrate. I could see in their screen they were calibrating for 15 minutes at 99%. Rahul, I mean, you do a lot of public charging. Is that something you do regularly as well? Or no?
Yeah, I mean, I charge to about, say, 90% or so. The rest of the 10%, luckily I can plug in into a 240 volt power point and calibrate up to that point. But yeah, that's a great point by Shalendra, because I did get caught out the first time, because it's a new battery pack, the LFP battery, and the Tesla notes in the car itself, in the manual, do say, hey, calibrate your battery to 100%, once a week or so. But obviously the wrong thing to do at superchargers, you don't need to calibrate your car to 100% at the superchargers or at a public charger. Just do it at your own sort of home, or if you've got a destination charger at home or a wall charger at home, do it there. And if not, just do it when it's a quieter time. But the calibration is more for Tesla to be able to check battery status, and for the battery management system to sort of keep track of how your battery is progressing in its health. But you don't really need to get it to 100%. Yeah.
Yep.
Great point.
Very well said, Rahul. Indeed. Yeah. I mean, that's what the public chargers, right? They're for sharing. So be courteous, top up the rest at home, calibrate at home. Don't stay at 99 for too long if you can. It's a shared resource. Hal's saying, yep, Highland's being tested at Giga Shanghai. Yes. Well, oh yes, Tassie EV, the idle fee trial from ChargeFox in WA. That's good. So, gents, I think Rob probably took some feedback from us in the audience about idle fees being priorities. So good to see that's being trialed.
Yeah, so first trial in WA, and then possibly rolled out to limited high frequency usage sites within Australia. And I think then they'll probably go from there to see whether they broadly sort of enact that through the whole network as well.
Yeah, the next thing they should probably do is probably limit to 80% as well, like Tesla, for those busy sites. That's kind of the next evolution. Back to the Ute, Riz, you were talking about this. There was a video of a BYD Ute during the week by a Chinese delegation. This is the BYD Ute penciled for next year in Australia. Looks great inside as well.
Fantastic.
I'll see if I can find it real quick.
The Ute market's interesting because, like, I have a feeling, I know we have an affinity with Utes in this country, but when I was working as an engineer and they gave me a Ute, I was literally the only one ever driving it around, not really doing anything in this 2+ ton vehicle. So if the accounting works out and we have electric vans that can do the same thing, I'm sure a lot of tradies will start to switch over and buy electric vans instead. That's cool.
I mean, I'm not a tradesperson, but I quite like vans. Like, they're covered, right? Yeah, it feels like things are more secure in the van. Obviously, Utes, you can probably carry bigger things, but I don't know. Just more of a van person, personally. There you go. Some pictures of the Ute. It's a bit messy, but it's all right. Oh, look at that. Bit crazy going on there. Or more camo, guys. Love the camo. Is that really a Ute? Oh no.
Oh, that's
It's a
one
different
of the
picture.
SUVs.
Yeah.
More like a Jeep, isn't it?
Yeah, that's more like it.
Yeah, that's the
Mm.
BYD ute.
It's a big BYD. Not build your dreams.
No.
There we go. Yeah, cool. Thanks for that. That's a good point there. Any other bits of news, guys? Keep your comments coming. That's great. Thank you.
I didn't know this, but I heard today that there's always this talk around batteries and how long will your battery last in an EV? It's a very common question for those looking at buying an electric vehicle, and the common answer is 8 to 10 years. But I heard something a little bit different today from someone at BYD, and they were saying that they can replace individual blades inside the blade batteries if they're faulty, or if they stop working or they just deplete to a level where it's not as effective inside the pack. They can just replace the blades themselves, which was something unique. I've never heard that before. I guess that's a good way of looking at it, that you may not have to, because if an engine breaks, generally you have to replace quite a few parts of it. Where if the blade batteries, if it's individual blades that are not performing as well after 8 or 10 years, replacing individual ones, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess is that the benefit of the blade battery, that they're modular. You can like switch in and out if one pack, like a bit like what do you call it? Those micro inverters for solar inverters, right? One's not working.
Yeah,
Switch it out.
apparently that's the way it was explained today. I guess it'd be good to know once there's more of these BYD and blade batteries out there. I'm sure like there's a huge community for Nissan Leafs replacing batteries and doing all that sort of stuff. In a couple of years' time, we'll have BYD enthusiasts doing the same thing, and they'll be good to learn, just to know how all that is sort of put together and what you can and can't swap.
That'd be good. Makes sense.
Riz, the other end of that spectrum would be, what if in say 10 years time battery pricing is so cheap that you actually don't have to worry, even if your battery dies, like I think NIO do in China. You just swap it out, go to a replacement center and swap your battery out, because it's dirt cheap. I don't know what the cost of replacing a battery in an EV currently is. Probably, I don't know, 10, 15, 20K is my ballpark sort of figure guess amount, but that pricing should come down with newer technology, newer battery life expectancy as well. Do you think?
Yeah, the batteries themselves are changing as well. I think some of the audience are talking about structural packs. And I guess you won't be changing too much in a structural pack if it's part of the structure of the car. So yeah, you never know. There's all this evolution. Apparently Toyota is saying that solid state batteries are coming 2027. So if we are to believe that, then you never know. We could all be driving solid state battery cars.
Oh, good segue. Let's do a Toyota watch. Sawyer says Business Insider drove the new Toyota BZ4X EV from New York to Washington and back. The 9-hour drive involved 3 hours of charging. Even at 37%, the BZ4X refused to pull more than 35 kilowatts charging speed. Ouch. Model Y would need to charge a total of maybe 30 minutes the entire trip. Okay. About 30
Now,
minutes.
if that was me, I would mercifully ask to be put down rather than experience that charging experience. Please have mercy and just put me down. That's it.
It's pretty bad. 35 kilowatts at that low state of charge. Like, oof. Ouch.
And I think Tom, somebody tagged you in a tweet, I believe, a Model 3 or a Model Y. I can't remember, where they were charging at 48%.
Oh,
and
yes.
they were pulling in 322 kilowatts, even at 48%. So it just goes to show you, like, there's such a massive difference in that charging experience. You're a Toyota. You'd be there for, a number of years, growing a beard, growing grey hair, while your Model Y is already charged and finished and gone in 30 minutes.
So, yeah, here's the tweet from Eric. I think this might be a glitch. I don't know. I've never seen anyone charge that quickly. It might not be good for the battery either. This was the new ChargeFox charger outside at Gundagai. But, I mean, that is pretty quick. 322 kilowatts. Insane at 48%. I've never seen anything in the Tesla go past 200. Well, at a public charger, go past 210 or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's pretty quick. Charles is just saying, I read during the week that Tesla will not calibrate if plugged into a supercharger, but it's possible at a public DC one, which is where the public education needs to come in. Thanks, Charles. We knew you know the answer. Thank you. Yeah. Anthony says Toyota shareholders have put the company on notice to get on the EV wagon. Nice. The shooting brake. Yeah, so Peter's right. It's either a display error or dramatically faulty tritium charger. Thank you, Peter. It must be a glitch, surely. It can't be good for the battery going that fast. What else have we got here? Oh, someone agrees with me. A lot of tradies prefer vans once they switch, as they are easy to lock. Yeah, there's a security issue, right?
Yeah, I still think there's a big market for electric vans. Like if the utes are a couple of years away, there's not much that, you know, there's a lot of things that you can swap over into a van for most, you know, tradespeople. If they're carrying stuff, carting things, whatever, they may not, you know, look as badass as some of the utes that are out there. But then again, you know, we're not going to get the Rivians of the world anytime soon either.
Yes, unfortunately. This is a big question, Jeff. Will any of us see EVs being manufactured in Australia? I think that could be a whole thesis, really, in our lifetime. I mean, I'd love to, right? That'd be great. But I don't know. We've got the minerals for it.
We need to process more stuff here locally, but at the same time, as we sort of touched on a couple of months ago, that Hyundai is going to be manufacturing cars in Singapore. So if they think Singapore is a viable place to manufacture electric cars, where they don't really have much of a car manufacturing industry, then, you know, you never know. I think it's highly likely that Thailand will do a lot of the EV manufacturing for the right-hand drivers market, like they already do for the ICE cars. And if we are luckier, Indonesia may, because of their nickel and other deposits, may be doing a lot more electric vehicle related manufacturing as well in the coming 5 to 10 years.
That's right. Woolies starting deliveries with EV trucks. That's true. A lot of comments about the battery life, and there's one from Gaffer here saying, watching Cyberlift on Twitter, YouTube, he ran his battery to death. 2 supercharger sessions every day, cost him $8,000 US to replace his Model 3 battery. That's quite reasonable, really.
It's roughly the same as replacing an ICE engine at a dealership.
There you go. That's right. Or an expensive gearbox at a premium luxury dealership. Peter Cook, structural packs can be swapped. That's true. Just have to lift the car off the pack, swap the seats. Okay. Yep, that's certainly benefits between modular versus the big pack. Yep. Wow, guys, so many comments. I really appreciate this. Really good. Yes, people saying Toyota might not last too much longer. Okay. Yep. Wow. Okay. I think that's yep. Vans versus Utes conversation going on. Good. Yeah, Ray saying, give me a van as a mobile home, like a converted Toyota Coaster. Yes, there is a small company. There is a company producing small vans. I think it's ACV.
I think it's is it C Electric or something like that, or
yes.
is it?
Yeah.
Yep.
They're doing the trucks, but I believe they have some side projects converting Toyota vans, Hiaces.
Yep. There we go. Yep. C Electric and Dandenong. Yep. Greg saying my insurance replacement pack for a 2021 3LR sets 17 grand.
Yep, long range, 80 kilowatt odd battery. That's pretty weak. I think the LFP packs are around 14 to 16 grand as well. But I can't imagine many being replaced, given they're supposed to last a bit more durable.
Yep. Okay, well, gents, I think, look, that's probably all we've got time for tonight. Unless there's anything pressing you want to share at the very end.
I just have one small bit, Riz and Tom, and that's kind of like Riz would probably appreciate this. I heard Boring Company in Vegas have completed the loop to the airport, I believe. Projected to cost $12 for a 7.7 mile trip from downtown to the international airport. Obviously, our government has given up on the rail link, but imagine if we could do something like that here in Victoria. Run a loop to the airport. Hop in the car. You're there in 20 minutes. Pay $20 as opposed to getting on the Skybus, getting stuck on the Tullamarine. Riz, what do you think?
Well,
Can we
if the current tunnel going under the city, the rail tunnel, is anything to go by, will probably be, I think, 2093 is
I'll
when
be
it'll
well
be
under the
ready.
ground.
It will be ready. I think we need the Boring Company here.
Just what happens if there's a bingle in one of these things? I mean, that's only one lane. What happens then? Do we have to cut it out? I mean,
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. I'm sure they've worked it out, but hopefully it's not just one lane, is it? Well, maybe just this one lane. Not sure, but yeah, I mean, if it's $12, yeah, I'll take that for sure.
Cheap,
Some people do get quite claustrophobic though in these long tunnels.
Yeah, I mean, my next trip to the US, if I can, I know Darren Young just did a trip to the US. He went to San Fran and, tried out a Model Y with an FSD beta on it. So good on him for doing that. So if people have got time, just check out Darren's videos on YouTube and on Twitter as well. Fantastic. But I'd love to go to Vegas and just hop in that loop, the Boring loop, and see what it feels like. You're not driving the car. There's obviously a driver there. You just rock on up, pay your fare, get in, and they drop you off at either the Vegas Strip or take me from the airport to the Vegas Strip straight to the casino. To the buffet.
And what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And on that note, I think we should probably end it there. Gents, thank you so much once again for joining us tonight. Thank you, Riz.
Thanks, Tom, Rahul, and everyone. It's going to be an exciting couple of months. A fair few EVs launching, affordability is improving, supply is improving, rebates in certain states are going, but some other states are increasing. So it should be good to see. I think we'll close this year off with just over 130,000 electric cars on our roads.
Amazing.
Amazing stuff.
Amazing. And you look, as you said, Riz, next week, already is very exciting. We're going to see the Dolphin getting launched, and make sure you stay tuned, everyone. I'll have some. Hopefully, I'll share something about an event that might share with you for next week. So stay tuned about the Dolphin launch. So yeah, Rahul, thank you again for joining us.
Tom, thank you, and Riz, thank you, and thanks again to the audience. We appreciate you guys making that time every Thursday for us. Maybe next Thursday, Tom may have a scoop on the Dolphin. But in the meantime, if you're, just want to remind everybody of that competition as well that ChargeFox are running. If you can tag Ludicrous Feed, that'd be great, because we've got a t-shirt to give away as well, and you can win some goodies from ChargeFox as well. Tag ChargeFox if you're charging at their sites, and tag Ludicrous Feed so you win that awesome t-shirt.
Thanks, Rahul. I can always depend on you to remind me. Yes, please tag Ludicrous Feed, get a t-shirt, double tag us, and yes, we'll put up some of those pics next time we stream, and we'll maybe run a poll to see who gets the t-shirt. So thank you again. All right, gents, thank you for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for watching live. So good of you to join us. If you're watching on replay, make sure you leave a comment as well. Thank you for listening to us on audio podcast. Until next week, this is Ludicrous Feed Live with Tom, Rahul, and Riz. Thanks, everyone. And as always, happy charging. All aboard our electric future, indeed. Amen. See ya.